What if I told you the worst thing that has ever happened to you might not be the reason you are suffering today? Not your childhood, not your heartbreak, not your failures, not the people who betrayed you, not even the person who hurt you the most. Because if they truly controlled your inner world, they would still be controlling you right now. So here is a question most of us never dare to ask. Who has been making me miserable all this time? The answer might change the way you see your life forever. Think about the last time someone ignored your message. Nothing actually happened, just silence. And yet, within minutes, your mind began writing an entire story. Did I say something wrong? Maybe they are upset. Maybe they don't care anymore. Maybe I am not important. By the time they finally replied, you had already experienced rejection, abandonment, and heartbreak without any of it actually happening. Sound familiar? That's because your mind does not simply record reality, it creates one. Here is something fascinating. Your brain was never designed to make you happy, it was designed to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, imagining the worst case scenario kept your ancestors alive. A rustle in the bushes could be the wind or a tiger. The human brain survived because it assumed danger before certainty. Today, the tiger has changed. Now it's what if they reject me? What if I fail? What if I am not enough? The survival system remains the same. Not only the threats have become psychological, your brain is not broken. It's doing exactly what evolution designed it to do. But here is the problem. You mistake every alarm for reality. Have you ever replayed the same conversation over and over, thinking, I should have said that instead? Or imagined a future argument that never happened? Or spent an entire vacation thinking about work? Or finally achieved something you'd wanted for years, only to feel empty again a few days later? Most of us are not living in this moment. We are living in memories or rehearsals. The body sits here, the mind lives somewhere else, and then we wonder why peace feels so far away. This is not a new problem. 2000 years ago, people worried about status, recognition, rejection, loss, power, respect. Long before smartphones, human beings carried another device, the mind. Civilizations changed, empire rose and fell, technology transformed the world. And now, one thing barely changed at all, human psychology. That's why wisdom written thousands of years ago still feels like it was written yesterday. Because the battlefield has always been the same, not the world, the mind. Imagine discovering that the greatest thinkers of ancient India had already mapped the human mind long before psychology became a science. They did not have MRI machines. They did not know the word neuroscience. Yet they spent entire lifetime observing one thing, the human experience, not by studying other people, but by studying themselves. And after centuries of observation, they arrived at a conclusion that sounds almost impossible. The mind can become your greatest prison or your greatest liberation. The difference is not the world around you, it is your relationship with your own mind. One of the most profound statements in the Upanishad says, Mana eva manusyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. The mind alone is the cause of bondage and liberation. Notice what it does not say. It does not say your boss is the cause, or your childhood, or your partner, or society. It points somewhere far more uncomfortable and far more empowering. The same mind that traps you is also capable of setting you free. Modern psychology calls this cognitive appraisal. Simply put, it's not only what happens to us that shapes our emotions, it's the meaning we give to what happens. Science validates, ancient wisdom explains. There is a story from the life of Buddha that illustrates this truth more clearly than any theory. One day, an angry man approached him. He shouted, he insulted him, he mocked him in front of everyone. Finally, he spat in the Buddha's face. The crowd froze. They expected anger. They expected revenge. Instead, the Buddha quietly wiped his face, looked at the man, and asked, "Is there anything else you wish to say?" The man was stunned. He returned the next day, ashamed. He asked, "Why did not you become angry?" The Buddha smiled. Then he asked, "If someone brings you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The man replied, "To the one who brought it." The Buddha said, "Then yesterday I simply choose not to accept your anger." Centuries later, Sadhguru expressed the very same truth in one sentence. Even God cannot decide your inner well being. If you refuse to cause misery to yourself, then no one can inflict it upon you. At first, that sounds almost impossible. How can even God not decide my inner well being? Because this is not a statement about power, it's a statement about responsibility. The world can offer you comfort or pain, praise or criticism, success or failure, but none of them can decide what you become inside. That choice, moment by moment, belongs to you. Here is the uncomfortable truth: most of us don't just experience suffering, we rehearse it. One criticism becomes 100 imaginary arguments. One mistake becomes a lifelong identity. One rejection becomes proof that we are not enough. The event lasted a few minutes. The suffering lasts for weeks. Not because life keeps hurting us, but because the mind keeps replaying itself. Imagine carrying a burning coal in your hand, hoping someone else gets burned. That's what resentment feels like. Imagine drinking poison, expecting another person to become sick. That's what hatred feels like. The world often hands us pain, but suffering begins when we refuse to put it down. The ancient masters never asked us to suppress emotions, they asked us to observe them. The next time something upsets you, pause, take one conscious breath. That single breath interrupts your automatic reaction. Then notice the emotion. Instead of saying, "I am angry," say, "Anger is arising." Instead of, "I am anxious," say, "Anxiety is present." Notice the difference. You are no longer trapped inside the emotion, you are witnessing it. Then ask yourself one simple question: what story is my mind creating right now? Sometimes that one question is enough to loosen the grip of suffering, because awareness does not erase emotions, it changes your relationship with them. Tomorrow, someone may criticize you, someone may misunderstand you, plans may fail, life will still be unpredictable. But imagine facing those moments with one quiet realization: no one can enter my inner world without my participation. That does not mean you stop feeling, it means you stop surrendering your peace. Strength is not becoming emotionless, strength is refusing to let every passing moment define who you are. Perhaps real freedom is not found when the world finally becomes kind. Perhaps real freedom begins when your inner life no longer depends on the world's behavior. Take a moment, think about the person you have blamed for your unhappiness. Now ask yourself, have they been hurting you today? Or has your mind been replaying yesterday? How much of your suffering belongs to this moment? And how much belongs to the stories you have carried into it? If you could set those stories down, even for a single breath, what would remain? Maybe peace is not something you need to find. Maybe it's what has always been there, waiting beneath the noise. If this documentary spoke to something you have been carrying quietly, know that you are not alone. This channel exists for people who want to understand themselves through timeless wisdom, psychology, and honest reflection. If that's the journey you want to be part of, subscribe and join the growing community. And before you leave, I want to ask you something. What is one story your mind keeps replaying that you are finally ready to stop believing? Share it in the comments. Sometimes writing it down is the first step towards putting it down. Until next time, take care of your inner well being because that's the only place where true freedom begins.